Hello, my name is Yasmin Euphemia, aka Sugar, and I'm here tonight with.
I am Beverly. I am the UK Fluffy Chick. And we are supporter sister founder sisters. Yay! And we have
Founders of Supporter Sister Network.
that too,
You're
and
in
that's
a
what I
funny
mean.
mood.
That's what I meant. You know that's what I meant.
Okay. Come
Right,
on, come on, come on.
right, all right. So we are here this evening with a lovely guest, Sistermama.
Greetings, ladies.
All right.
Seems very nice.
So, all right. So tell us a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do.
Well, again, I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to share what I do on your platform. My name is, oh dear God, please drop out, don't dare phone. I'm begging you, ancestors come true. Right, so I consider myself to be a creative creator. I've been quite blessed that most things creative around multimedia, the arts, I seem to have a natural gift for it. Alongside that, 7 years ago, I don't know where from because I don't even drink coffee, I decided I wanted to get into the coffee industry. And I was able to kind of carve a path for myself in the industry. I've just got funding now off of some ward funding to set up a feasibility program to work with. I'll work with anyone, but the funding really is to work with young people, looking at all the opportunities and career pathways that they are in the coffee industry here and abroad. So that's one of the things I'm quite excited about, talking through with some of your other Sistermama entrepreneurs.
Wow. Sorry.
Wow, that sounds very
Yeah.
interesting. I
Very
cannot
different, very
imagine.
unusual, isn't it?
I can't imagine how you can link coffee with helping youngsters. What is the foundation that underpinning knowledge with that?
Well, because I've worked in it for 7 years now, I think I have a unique position of somebody my age, female, going into the coffee industry. But also, my observations were apart from where coffee comes from, we're planting it, we're selling it in, we're not a part of the brokerage process. There are not many quality assessors that look like me. Um, just and I just thought, no, there's a lot of work in this industry, and I'd like to see more people have the opportunity to look into it, see, oh, could I get into quality assessing? Could I get into teaching? Could I get into roasting? Could I maybe set up my own coffee shop? Could I set up my own training program? Could I partner up with other brands and like a bit like Marks and Spencer's, the one at Spitalfields, they've got a social enterprise inside their small shop that's going towards Spitalfield Market. So I've been teaching at the Coffee Festival for on and off for 7 years. On the 1st and 2nd of September, I'll be doing some on the People's Panel at the Design Business Centre, really talking about retention, HR, diversity within the industry, and whatever else people want to ask me on that day. So the linear link really is letting people know that there are lots of career pathways into the coffee industry. These skills can take you anywhere in the world. No one's ever asked to see my qualifications, and I would just like to widen the scope and letting people know, apart from drinking it, consuming it, it might be an opportunity to find work for yourself or a career path.
Wow. You see, with stuff like this, especially like coffee now, you don't even think about all the things that go into the process. You just think, okay, they just pick some coffee bean, sell it, roast it, and you drink the coffee, voila, Bob's your uncle. But you don't think about
How it got there.
Yeah. Wow.
So what was your journey that brought you to this stage?
My 5th child, I didn't want to go back into housing management, which I did on and off for about 20 years. And I wanted to stay at home and look after my 5th child. So I decided when she was 3, I was going to think about getting back into education. Again, I kept being offered really lucrative housing jobs. I thought, dear Lord, my daughter's 16 now. And I thought, if I don't leave now, I'll never get out of it because I'll just stay for the money. and whatever outcomes, I can work with some of the service users, we used to call it at the time, or people in the projects I used to manage. So I just knew it wasn't for me anymore. I really got into it as a fluke because I used to do advocate work for a Black women's group in Forest Hill. And then off the back of that, I just was in the right place at the right time, and I got into housing management. So, and I did it kind of to prove to my mum that I could do what she considers to be a proper job. She doesn't understand events. I want that. No,
I've been there.
Yeah, they don't get it, and I understand because that was her journey and her path. So I literally do not know why or how. As I said, at the start of the journey, I was a tea and cake girl. I never drank coffee really. I don't think I even had a latte or a cappuccino. Possibly on the rare occasion I went to a hotel, but more than likely I would have had tea and cake. So I just don't know why, but I just knew it was something I wanted to find out more about. And luckily, going into training at 52 years old, what's interesting is I could see that there's a coffee fit for me, but I just didn't know what that fit looked like. So unlike maybe some younger people who might be challenged by going to spaces where they might be not spoken to nicely or just think, oh, you're there to work for free or something. I was like, no, I want to work locally. I want to work in different types of specialty coffee shops so I can get a breadth of what the experience is like and what I'd like to do and what career paths are there. And one thing about the coffee industry, apart from the fact you barely see anyone that looks like me, literally never, they're very open to, there's a lot of fluidity and opportunities there. And I just think at this age where I am now, thinking about my legacy and what footsteps I'm supposed to be leaving in the sand for my own grandchildren and my community, it's really more about using my skills, doing what I should be doing, not what I could be doing.
Right.
As much as, yes, I could go back into housing in maybe a junior housing management position, I just feel at this point in my life, no. I'm interested in coffee. I mean, I'm a bit geekish. I won't bore you to death about the roast and process and green bean.
No, but no, that's okay because I've got that on my list about being a taster. Like, I imagine it's a bit like wine where you can tell the difference between the different types of coffees. And I imagine you can recognize beans, but please tell us about that.
Well, just like with wine, it's like develop your taste, because they do have things called cuppings where you will taste different coffees, and my own, my taste is developed now. I know the type of beans that I really enjoy drinking, but I will just literally drink any type of coffee. It just depends on what mood I'm in. There are some coffees that are called geisha coffees that literally, if I didn't tell you, you'd think you were drinking tea, but they're very lightly roasted. They're very pale in the color, and they can be quite mildly acidic or fruity, but they are coffees. So again, it's a sort of thing you can learn as much as you want to learn in it, and you can take it as far as you want to take it. Personally, I would like to become a quality assessor. That will take me another year to get the basic qualification, and I'll probably end up learning stuff until I cannot drink coffee anymore or choose not to do this line of work. And one, it's about the challenge for me, but also I believe I could do it and I'm passionate about it, so why not?
Yeah,
I'm one of the people that I would rather die trying than at 65. Yes, man, I should have.
Oh
no,
God.
I'm not like that. I would rather try doing something and learn from, I don't call it failures, you learn from the process to find out how you can refine it, realize maybe it's not for you, or how you can take whatever you've learned to the next level. So it's an ongoing process. You develop your nose, you develop your palate.
Right. So someone who thinks, oh, this sounds really interesting and I want to get into coffee, how do they do that?
I would say either contact someone like me who's setting up 3-day tester courses from September onwards, or look, depending what age you are, because it's very difficult to find training at my age. So you could go into your local coffee shop. You could even go online. I would say it's quite useful to even go on YouTube, start watching some videos, getting an idea of what the coffee industry is like. Go along to some festivals. You drink coffee until you go blind.
Didn't even know there was such a thing as coffee festival.
Yes, there's should be one coming up shortly, probably in October. It's usually the what is that place called? The Truman Brewery. It's near just off not Oxford Street, Liverpool Street. They will have one there. Simultaneously, they have them around Europe, in America. Manchester Coffee Festival, I will be going to this year, mainly because it's a different experience. That's going to be in November, because I was told it's more family orientated, and that I was quite interested in how that works and what that looks like, and what is the coffee scene outside of London. So, and there are things you can do, like going for cupping experiences, where again you'll have like anything between 10 to 15 coffees in front of you, and you can go through numerous things, almost like a sommelier, which is basically somebody who talks about wine, where you will look at the coffee, you look at the crema, which is the creamy substance at the top of it. You'll smell whether it's a single blend, whether it's Arabica or Robusta. Robusta coffee is usually what you will have in a instant coffee. And again, I will drink any coffee. I even walk around with those ready-made coffees in my bag, because if I want a quick coffee fix, they're blended to taste well with the milk in it. But I don't really have a favorite coffee, because it just depends on what mood I'm in, to what I want or what I fancy. So
because you said you didn't even drink coffee.
No.
I'm a coffee drinker, so if you are that passionate about the flavors as somebody who doesn't even drink coffee, I dread to think what I'd be like.
I think you'd be interested. You would be if you like wine, or it's like if you buy a cake from a shop, and you eat a homemade cake, there's a difference. So and eventually you think, oh, why do I like that more? Well, they probably use more eggs, or they use more butter or something. So again, in a similar way, the journey is very similar.
Wow.
Okay. Would you say that, I know you're passionate, would you say that you could even be addicted?
No, I mean, I could drink anything up to 7 coffees a day, or I'll have weeks where I don't drink any coffee. And I think August last year, I thought I had COVID, but in the end, it was just flu. And I literally couldn't even look at coffee. I'm like, oh dear God, no.
Oh, wow.
Not today.
Okay.
No coffee going on there today. And I didn't drink coffee for probably about 2 weeks. And then as soon as I got over the flu, it came right back. And again, it would just depend on what I want to drink, what time of the day. I do like to try different coffee. So I will change beans quite often, just to have fun.
That's a whole new era for me. The only difference is
it's a whole new thing. So okay, let's rewind back to your events, and like you're talking about taster courses. How does that work? Like, you're creating this event for people to come and taste coffees. Yes, am I right? Oh, all right. So are you like commissioned or sponsored by coffee people to promote their coffee?
A bit of both. I have been given £10,000 funding by the NC Award funding, so that will facilitate me doing this. The objective is eventually to get accredited, so that I can offer people opportunities via the job centre. One, it's more lucrative and it's more sustainable. But through the COVID, I was really looking at my business model and how I'll move forward. And I've contacted schools, I've contacted other local community groups who are very interested. So again, there will be a strand of what I'm doing where I will develop pop-up opportunities, where it will be like a 3-day course where people can come on, taste, learn the rudimentary skills to become a barista. I mean, you never know, you may naturally adhere to it, and within 3 days it might be the sort of thing you're interested in, you want to learn more about it, or you might get an opportunity to go into a coffee shop. Because one thing, because of Brexit, there are not enough baristas or people who can work in the coffee industry in general. So me, that's a great loophole, an opportunity. If it's something you might be remotely interested in, it may not be even something that you want to do full time, but you just want to put your toe in the water, see what it's like. Or now that you've got a lot of young people leaving school or going on to college or university, this is as good as way as any of getting involved, getting paid, and you never know what you do as a side hustle or as another secondary income may become an opportunity to open doors for something else. After doing my training, I was offered a job with a quite high-end tea company. And I was thinking, and they were so lovely. They sent me a lovely email. We wish you well in what you're doing. Because I basically said, look, I've spent so much time and energy getting into coffee. I would like to see where I can go with this. So again, my opportunity to get into quality teas.
What area are you based in?
Oh, I'm based in Lewisham. The funding that I've got will happen somewhere within my ward, which is the Evelyn Street ward. But as I said, I have contacted schools who are quite interested in the programme, because again, once I get accredited, the idea is to get into schools. I'd like to work with young people who are not engaged in education, as well as working with 16-year-olds. Again, I got into coffee at 52, so if there was somebody out there who wanted to try it out.
Yeah, because you're showing them a vocational course that they may not even have thought of, because I've seen baristas and, they're young, vibrant people, but I never imagined that it as a career. But now, since you've been talking, I'm like, yes, this could be a career.
There's a coffee. You don't have to. Not everyone is built to be working in Costa. I mean, I particularly love customer service and talking to people and learning about their stories. And then people come in and it's your birthday today, have a coffee with me. Or when somebody's a bit low, or when people get agitated because they need their coffee fix for the morning. So I quite enjoy that aspect of it. So there are all sorts of different types of coffee jobs. It's just finding the fit that works for you.
Okay. And have you, before I ask you where you want this to end, because I imagine that with you doing the events and teaching this sort of thing, you're quite hands-on. Do you think you'll remain hands-on, or will you develop something where you end up doing like a remedial income?
It's an interesting question. My long-term goal is to connect with either the coffee industry somewhere in Africa or potentially in the Caribbean, where there is a linear line where I will be setting up a charity, but people will be paid. There's a thing called fair trade or sustainability. There's no such thing. They pay people pennies and pittance, and people don't need to be. I think there's a saying: "Give a man a book."
Like that, yeah.
And we're past through that now. We don't need these MGOs, missionary, with their hand looking at you like, starving African, with it. No, we're past that now.
Yeah.
We're past that. We're long past that now.
Yeah.
I feel it's my obligation to go to Zambia or go to parts of the Caribbean and say, oh, what's going on with your coffees? What's going on with your teas? Let's work with the government. Let's work with yourselves, not just paying you fairly for your goods, but also looking at, as a community, what are you looking for? Have you got a bright child here that you need sending to private school? Have you do you need some sort of community centre where you are? Because lots of
develop the area.
It's not just about smash and grab. It's like, what can we really, really do? How can we really support our brothers and sisters, globally? And that's my long-term.
That's fantastic. That's absolutely. So I'm looking at the time and I'm saying, okay, we've got Sistermama with us, everyone. Sistermama, where does your name come from?
Oh, it's an interesting story. Really, I've been given an African name, but it's not something I really want to use right now. And I used to do a lot of, I used to produce programs at the BBC World Service. I've got quite an extensive resume working in radio, mainly because I like information and I like talking to people. But what I found was, yes, we can talk about mainstream news, but I'm not really interested in mainstream. I'm interested in my own community, people that look like you, me, whether it's locally, nationally, or internationally. So that's why I've done so many radio stations. I've lost count. And that's why it's beautiful doing things like this and developing podcasts and collecting content, because you can really take it wherever you want to take it. And it's beautiful seeing you two sisters. You can clearly see that you've got a connection and a true friendship. And when I saw what you were doing, I thought, yes, I would love to support what they're doing and talk about brands and see where the magic goes and see what comes back. You know,
because as you can probably tell, we're still like novices a little bit. We're learning. We're trying to develop as we go along. So yeah.
Not about that. But for me, it's about, I don't care how shaky the camera is or if I can barely see what's going on. I'm interested in the content and the material and what's coming, the energy that's coming through. All the any YouTube or any PLD that is developed what they're doing, they didn't start off like that. They were in a dark, shaky room. Do you know what I mean? They were doing all sorts of things, but there was something there. Their tribe, your tribe, is out there, and that's who you connect with. You're not trying to be talking to the masses. You know who you're connecting to. You know where the energy and where it's been resonated to, and you will see that picking up. There are so many courses out there, dear God, that are free that you can find if you want to, you know, how do you dress a set or lighting issues and we're not talking about thousands of pounds. So again, it's like the main thing is you have a mission and you're passionate about what you're doing, and
definitely
support each other doing, and I salute you both. I think it's amazing.
And I'm
all over the internet. You can find me on Instagram. I did used to do a lot of photography and styling, but I'm really just concentrating on different strands of my brand. You can find me on Instagram, either Create Coffee. You can find me on Instagram. I've got a LinkedIn page for Create Coffee, and it's spelled CRE8 Coffee. You can find me on Facebook, Sistermama Montgomery. If anybody wants to know more about what I do or wants to just pick my brains, just direct message me and I'll get back to you. And I do put a lot of information out. There is a tester course coming up very soon. So I will be letting people know, hey, hi, we're here, come out. And off the back of that, I will be developing some workshops where I can be long-term selling programs, night and day. I can be making income selling programs about the coffee industry and the opportunities that are there, and just giving people a little flavor of what's out there.
Absolutely excellent.
Yeah, that is great.
Absolutely. So we're really excited about you being here with us, and Fluffy Chick would like to ask you about the head wraps, but I've nipped her in the bud, and I'm going to say let's invite you back, because I know that it's going to be a whole subject on its own. I'm excited about hearing about these courses, and I presume you're going to post them on our page as and when you have them up and coming.
Absolutely. Yeah? I wanted to share one quick thing with you. My parting testimony from really sharing what I've done in my process is I had to turn around an application within 2 weeks to go for this funding. And I was thinking, there's no way I'm going to do it. But sometimes when you just know it's the moment and you just fly, you fight through the fear. I had to meet 2 MPs who had to sign off on the program. So literally, I turned an application round in 2 weeks, had to meet 2 local MPs to sign it off, councillors to sign it off. And 3 months later, I was told I was awarded the funding.
Amazing.
Now,
yay!
Now, if I'd really thought, there's no way I'm going to be able to do, you can talk out of it. Because I mean, the form itself, it was like Latin. I had no idea how, but luckily, especially in Lewisham, there are so many places you can go to help fill out forms. So whether it's language barrier or you just don't understand the process or time, do not put yourself out of an opportunity. Don't do it. Don't wait until you've got
very encouraging
your space or whatever. You're enthusiastic. You've got a phone. You've got a laptop. You're doing what you want to be doing.
Yeah. That
it's
is,
very
yeah, like that is
encouraging.
very encouraging because people do that. People do that, you know, you're so this I don't know why we have this innate built-in self-defeated, self lack belief, whatever you want to call it, mechanism that, and especially like, you know, when you have the passion, like, you know, look how you just went into this coffee, just it does come like you went into it, but it's led that way because there's lots of opportunities you'll be creating by doing that. But it's like you could have easily said, well, no, not about coffee. Can't bother with coffee. Don't ever think about coffee. Sit back with
Yeah,
coffee.
but the fact, as she said earlier, you know, it
Just
came to
came,
her.
yeah.
It's as if
Yeah.
her ancestors spoke to her.
Yeah.
It's
And it's
in,
to be
yeah,
aware, it's to be acute and can feel it and hear it, to know it. Like, even though it makes no sense to you, you just follow where it's telling you to go. Just do it. Even if you don't see what the opportunities is going to be creating, you don't know where you could, yeah. You know what? Could I go on a whole heap of things about that one?
yeah,
But I
because you
won't.
just
I
go on your
won't.
soapbox. All right. So is there anything that you feel that we may have missed out?
I think you've covered it all. And I said, I'll just keep on doing what you're doing. You know, you will have naysayers and haters out there. That means you're doing something correct.